Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results for the week of April 20th. Birthdays got for April 19th. I'm doing this video late this week, but I'm only going to give you the birthdays from the 19th to the 22nd. April 19th, Roxy, 1980. Charlie Morgan, 1992. April 20th, Johnny the Bull, 1977. Curt Hawkins, 1985. Garrett Bischoff, 1984. April 21st birthdays, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, 1957. Nikki Cross, 1989. April 22nd birthdays, Ezekiel Jackson, 1978. And Chuck Taylor of AEW, 1986. According to PW Insider, pro wrestling star Dick Steinborn passed away at the age of 86. Steinborn was a former AWA champion, tag team champion, and regular in World Wrestling Council in Puerto Rico, where he once held the Caribbean Championship. He also wrestled under a mask in 1970 as the White Knight. Steinborn finished wrestling in 1985 and became a fitness instructor and gym owner. The report states that Steinborn was still in peak physical condition in his 80s and regularly continued to lift weights. And you can check out some action from Steinborn at this link, as he was portraying his White Knight gimmick then. Condolences go to his family and friends of the departed. Rest in peace, Mr. Steinborn, White Knight. Mandy Rose spoke with TV series Hub about her storyline when Otis originally came together, or how it came together. Rose revealed that she was the one to approach Vince McMahon about the idea. Otis always was around in NXT and posting pics of me and walking about how much he liked me, Rose recalled. In a cute way, not a creepy way, this continued on, and I thought it would be great if this became a storyline, especially once Otis entered WrestleMania. I actually went to Vince McMahon myself and pitched the idea, and he loved it. In a separate interview with comicbook.com, Rose continued about how she thought things turned out with Otis at WrestleMania 36. Otis defeated Dolph Ziggler and got a post-match kiss from Rose. We didn't really know that it was going to be this huge, and it's really awesome, and I'm really grateful and happy about it, Rose said. But I really didn't expect it to be this crazy and such a positive story. And I think in these times too, it's nice to see such a happy ending for our fans and be able to perform and be able to demonstrate that. So yes, it's truly cool. Due to coronavirus pandemic, WWE has been running shows without a live audience for four weeks, WrestleMania 36 included, at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Rose commented that the adjustment was troubling at first, but ultimately was glad they could do something to entertain the fans. I think it was definitely a little upsetting at first, but then we realized that we're just grateful and we're blessed to be able to even perform still in it, Rose said. We're all about performing and giving our audience and our fans the best entertainment we can. So if I think we're still able to do that, we don't want to take this for granted, and we just had to do it. Do what we had to do. Rose is currently feuding with her former best friend, Sonya Deville. Curt Hawkins' wife, Liz, wrote on her blog yesterday about Hawkins' release from WWE during the coronavirus pandemic. Hawkins was among numerous WWE and NXT talents that were released from WWE earlier in the week. Liz, who is 30 weeks pregnant now, wrote they were given notice the morning of the layoff, but it was out of nowhere given the current state of the world. She also noted that Hawkins helped out other WWE superstars who hadn't gone through the process of being let go by WWE. Batista's film, Stuber, is now available on HBO. 2019 action comedy is a buddy cop movie where an Uber driver picks up a cop, Dave Batista, who is trying to take down a killer. The video link at this link of WWE Superstars Homecoming in the video NXT star Candace LeRae and Tegan Knox baked panna cotta. 14 classic episodes of Superstars will be airing on the WWE Network on Monday, according to WWE Network News. And probably, if you notice, that probably might be the same kitchen that you did for the NXT video for this week on your NXT episode. Being that I'm doing this video late, spoiler for NXT. Episodes will be from December 12th, 1992 to March 13th, 1993. Episodes will cover the arrival of Jerry the King Lawler and debut of Monday Night Raw, the exit of Ric Flair, and the road to the Royal Rumble. Also noted, Heath Slater was one of the WWE stars that were recently released. For a list of WWE stars that were released, go to my previous videos. This afternoon, MVP shared a story on social media about their time in WWE Developmental. He wrote, "I was in WWE Developmental with Heath. He came in for a Deep South TV for free. He literally worked his way into a developmental contract. He told me he couldn't cut promos. He talked about it. I told him he had a huge personality. Bring that to the mic. Practice. He did. Oh, baby." And Raw opens up with a look back at last week's show. Cut to a usual opening video. We're live from the USA Network from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Tom Pillows welcomes us, and he's joined in by Byron Saxton and WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. We'll go right to the ring. Out first comes champion Drew McIntyre. Tom hypes Drew versus Angel Garza for tonight's main event. Drew welcomes us to Raw and says this truly is the highlight of his week. He brings up last week's attack by Seth Rollins and how the WWE title paints a huge bullseye on his back. Drew goes on about Rollins deserving a title shot or not. He could make Rollins jump through hoops, but he is one of the best. And if Drew is going to be one of the best champs of all time, he has to continue to beat the best. He challenges Rollins for Money in the Bank. Drew goes on until Zelina Vega comes out with Garza and Austin Theory to interrupt. Vega says they're tired of Drew's speeches. He's so focused on the Money in the Bank that he's looking past tonight's main event. U.S. champion Andrade attacks with his cheap shot, but Drew ends up leveling him with a claymore. Vega orders Garza and Theory to the ring, but they're not interested. Vega is furious. Drew delivers another claymore to send Andrade out of the ring. Drew stands tall with the WWE title as his music hits. He says he's going to beat the heck out of Garza later on. We get a replay of what just happened. And that's the unique Money in the Bank matches from the WWE headquarters. And tonight's qualifying match is going to commercial. Money in the Bank qualifying match, Austin Theory versus Aleister Black. Back from the break. Austin Theory is in the ring for tonight's first Money in the Bank qualifier. Zelina's own commentary, we see the Money in the Bank briefcase hanging high above the ring. Aleister Black makes his way out. Back and forth start the match as they lock up. Black takes Theory down first and grounds him. Theory drops Black a few times and shows off while he's down. Theory avoids the leg sweep and lands more strikes. Black comes right back and sends him to the apron. Black goes for a Black Mass, but Theory dodges it, landing on the floor. Black charges and hits Theory through the ropes. Vega gets up from commentary and talks trash to Black from the ramp. Theory takes advantage of the distraction and launches Black into the barrier. We got a commercial. Back for the break, Theory works Black around. Black comes back and drops Theory. More back and forth between the two. Black blocks the ATL. They trade more strikes, and Black pulls Theory into a triangle on the arm. Black goes for the arm bar, but Theory powers up and down into a one-arm sit-down powerbomb. Theory gets up first, but Black blocks a suplex as Theory sells an arm injury. Black strikes, but Theory blocks him. Black pulls Theory down into another roll-up for a 2 count. Black mounts more offense with strikes. Black with a running knee to the face. Black with a middle rope moonsault for a 2 count. More back and forth with counters and strikes. Theory with a kick to the face. Theory drives Black down over his knees for another 2 count. Theory goes for the ATL again, but Black makes it to the apron. Black rolls Theory and goes to the top, but has to roll through. Black comes right back with a big knee to the face. Black with a German suplex for a close 2 count. Theory avoids Black Mass again. They tangle. The Black nails Black Mass for the pin to advance in the Money in the Bank match. After the match, Black sits up in the ring as the music hits. We go to replays. Black still sitting next to Theory, but he gets up as Saxon enters the ring for an interview on the unique Money in the Bank ladder match at WWE headquarters. Black doesn't know much about corporate life, but for his opponents, he will make sure each floor of the WWE headquarters is turned into their own personal hell. Black and Daniel Bryan are the only confirmed participants for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match so far. Black looks back at the briefcase hanging above the ring. Still to come segment, Shayna Baszler will be in action. Back commercial. With Shayna Baszler versus Indy Hartwell is your women's match. Second match. We go to the ring. Out comes Baszler. Charlie Caruso stops her on the stage and asks if she took it too far with stomping Sarah Logan's arm last week. Baszler says she didn't break any rules, just Logan's arm. Baszler walks into the ring and Tom shows us a replay of what happened between Baszler and Logan, who was cut by WWE on Wednesday. WWE NXT superstar Indy Hartwell awaits in the ring. The bell rings and Baszler rocks Hartwell in the mouth to start. Baszler unloads and hits a gut right suplex in the middle of the ring. Baszler stands on the arm and goes to stomp on the elbow like last week, but Hartwell avoids it. Hartwell gets a 1 count. Baszler upset because of the 1 count. She runs into a kick in the corner, but just laughs. Baszler attacks in the corner and dumps Hartwell on her head. Baszler with a knee to the head. Baszler stomps the right arm like she did last week. Referee calls the match and says Hartwell cannot continue. Winner by stoppage, Shayna Baszler. After the match, Baszler quickly marches to the back as Hartwell rolls around in the ring. Twisting her arm, Shayna's in the ring to check on her. Baszler comes walking back out with her ladder. Baszler pulls Hartwell out of the ring and launches her head into the barrier. Baszler places the ladder next to the steel ring steps, then sends Hartwell into both. She pushes Hartwell elbow into between the steps and the ladder now, then kicks him. Hartwell cries out as Baszler stares down at her. Baszler hits to the back as the trainers check on Hartwell. We go to replays. What happened? Back to commercial. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus Shane Thorne and Brendan Vick. Back from the ring, out comes the team of Ricochet and Cedric Alexander as Mike Rome does the ring introductions. NXT Shane Thorne and Brendan Vick wait in the corner. The bell rings and Vick starts out by dominating Ricochet. Thorne comes in and drops Ricochet but misses a cheap shot to Cedric. Ricochet drops Thorne with a drop kick. Cedric comes in for the double teaming. More back and forth between the two teams. As Ricochet and Cedric use their speed, Vink pulls Ricochet into the floor from the apron and drops him. Vink tags in and rolls Ricochet back in or Thorne taunts him. Vink clubs Ricochet. Vink goes for a big buckle bomb, but is countered as Ricochet sends him into the corner. Cedric tags in and unloads on both opponents. Thorne uppercuts Cedric, but Cedric fights back and hits a tornado DDT. Ricochet with a standing shooter star press on Thorne for a 2 count. Vink comes in, but Ricochet ends up dropping him with a DDT. Ricochet ends up hitting a recoil on Vink into a lumbar check from Cedric. Vink takes the pin. Winner, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. After the match, Cedric and Ricochet stand tall as the music plays. Charlie's backstage with Asuka and Kairi Sane. Sane will get a rematch against Nia Jax tonight. Charlie asks why it will be any different. Asuka goes on about Sane is ready and no one is ready for her. We go to a pre-recorded message from Bobby Lashley. Lana is with him. He's in the Performance Center gym to show how easy it is to flip one of these large tractor tires tonight. Lana is all smiles, as is Lashley, as they walk off together. Still to come, Sane versus Jack, back commercial. Back from the break, we got another promo for Triple H's 25th anniversary celebration, which begins this Friday during SmackDown on Fox. Kairi Sane versus Nia Jax. We go to the ring. Out first goes Kairi Sane. Nia was out next for this rematch from last week. Money in the Bank qualifier. Nia was out next. The bell rings and Sane ducks a clothesline, then tosses Jax. Sane ducks again and jumps on Jax's back with a sleeper. Jax tosses her to the mat, over her shoulder. Jax with a big swing, tossing Sane across the ring. Jax manhandles Sane some more and nails a big clothesline. Jax tells the referee to check on Sane, but she's still in it. Sane counters and tries to bring Jax down, but can't. Jax powers her up, and launches her back into the bottom turnbuckle. Sane goes for the knees and softens Jax up. Sane focuses on the knees some more and brings Jax down. And we see Asuka watching backstage. Sane unloads with strikes and drops Jax with a spinning back fist. Sane charges in the corner with a sliding knee to Jax. Sane goes up top, but rolls through as Jax moves. Jax counters and hits a big Samoan drop finisher for the pin and the win. After the match, Jax stands tall as the music plays. Jax slaps Sane a few more times and taunts her as we go to replays. Jax makes her exit and Sane recovers on the mat. Advancing in the tournament, Nia Jax. Tom shows us how Seth Rollins attacked Drew McIntyre last week. It shows us a video message from Seth Rollins responding to Drew's Money in the Bank challenge from earlier. Rollins accepts the challenge, but not out of respect, but out of necessity and duty because WWE needs a leader right now. Rollins goes on and says he is a proven leader while Drew is not. Rollins says he will take the title at Money in the Bank, not because he wants to, because he has to. So to come, 2 more qualifiers for the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. Back to commercial. Back to the break, Tom sends us to the Viking Raiders on the road, doing their own version of the carpool karaoke. They're singing about being Vikings, and they're wearing their headgear. Ivar is munching on a large turkey leg. Money in the Bank qualifying match for MVP versus Apollo Crews. We got the ring for tonight's month. For the next Money in the Bank qualifier, as MVP makes his way out, MVP takes the mic, talks about Money in the Bank. He goes about having his agent book him in the match tonight. But the music interrupts. Out comes Apollo Crews. Crews takes a look at the ladders around the arena. He hits the ring and stares at the briefcase hanging high. The bell rings and Crews unloads after MVP tries the first strike. Crews with a pair of drop kicks, sending MVP to the apron to call for a timeout. Crews drops MVP off the apron onto the floor. MVP ends up taking out Crews' leg on the apron, sending him into the floor. Back to commercial. Back to the break. MVP talks trash while grounding Crews in the middle of the ring. Crews fights up and rams MVP back into the corner. MVP comes flying out of the corner with a big clothesline for a 2 count. MVP talks more trash while grounding Crews again. Working him over, Crews blocks a playmaker and drops MVP with a spine buster in the middle of the ring. Crews with a running splash to the corner. Crews beats MVP down in the corner and yells out. Crews rocks MVP again, kicks him in the head. Crews with a big clothesline. Crews keeps control and slams MVP for another close pin attempt. Crews slams MVP and goes up top for the frog splash, but MVP gets his knees up. MVP nails playmaker, but Crews still kicks out too. MVP argues with the referee. MVP calls for the ball and elbow drop, but Crews jumps up with an enziguri. Crews presses MVP above his head and drops him. Crews with a standing moonsault and the standing shooting star press. Crews waits for the MVP to get up. Crews drops MVP into the chariot sit-down powerbomb for the pin to earn his Money in the Bank spot. After the match, Crews stands tall with the music playing. We got a replays with Crews posing in the middle of the ring. Crews hits the corner to pose as Tom hypes Money in the Bank. Charlie backstage with Ruby Riott. She asks about facing Liv Morgan now in the history of the Riott Squad. Riott says she had to have double shoulder surgery because she carried both of them. Ruby says now Sarah Logan has a broken arm and Liv would be lucky if she doesn't get both arms broken tonight. Ruby goes on, running Liv down ahead of her match. She walks off and we got a commercial. So we got Ruby versus Liv. Back for the break. Out comes Liv first. And Nasa still talking about Ruby the Riott Squad for some reason. As Riott was out next. They lock up and Liv takes it to the corner. Riott beats her down and stomps away. Riott with a big kick and more trash talking while keeping Liv down. Liv fights back, but Right clubs her over. The back, Liv fights back with a strike of her own. With a strike on her feet now. Liv with a big kick and a clothesline. Liv with a big kick to the face to send right into the corner. Liv misses in the corner, but hits a springboard drop kick for a 2 count. Right blocks the suplex and drapes Liv over the top rope. Right with a running kick to the face to send Liv back to the mat. Right covers for a 2 count. Right keeps Liv grounded in the middle of the ring, talking trash. Liv fights free, but Right slams her face into the mat. More back and forth. Liv with a forearm to the face. Right drops Liv with a stiff back elbow and a kick to the face. Right talks more trash in Liv's face, bending her around. Right hits the ropes, but Liv runs right behind her and blocks, dropping her with a flatliner off the ropes. Liv covers for the pin and wins the match. Out of nowhere. After the match, Liv stands tall as we go to replays. Liv has her arm raised as her music plays. We go to Bobby Lashley and Lana in the Performance Center gym again. Lashley is ready to flip another tractor tire, and he does. Now there's an even bigger tire. It looks like Lashley will flip this tire later on. Still to come, Rey Mysterio versus Murphy. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a graphic in memory of WWE Hall of Famer Howard Finkel, who passed away on Thursday at the age of 69. I gave y'all the news that he passed away on the SmackDown video. Money Bank qualifier match, Murphy versus Mysterio. We go to the ring for the final Raw qualifier for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Rey Mysterio is out first, followed by Murphy. Back and forth to start the match. I got some technical difficulties, but Rey goes to the floor to sell a hand injury after Murphy nailed him in the corner. Murphy goes out and launches Rey into the barrier a few times. He brings it back in for a 2 count. More back and forth between the two. Murphy ends up slamming Rey's injured arm into the steel of the ramp. We go to commercial. Back to the break. Murphy launches Rey into the barrier on the outside. Murphy sends the injured hand into the steel steps and breaks the count. Murphy continues to focusing on the injured hand. Rey counters and sends Murphy flying out to the floor. Rey runs and leaps off the steps with her hurricanrana into the steel of the ramp. Rey fights back into the ring with kicks in the face. Rey flies in with a seated senton and a crossbody. More back and forth down. Murphy blocks a 619, but Rey hits a big DDT for a close 2 count. More back and forth on the apron and the floor now. Rey sends Murphy head first in the barrier. Rey rolls Murphy back into the ring and goes for a crossbody, but Murphy rolls through. Murphy drops Rey and nails a knee strike. Then a brain buster for a close 2 count. Rey grabs Murphy's leg, but Murphy stomps away. Murphy goes back to the top, but Rey cuts him off. Rey climbs up, but Murphy resists. Murphy goes for a sunset bomb from the top, but Rey fights back. Rey with a big destroyer from the corner. Rey follows up with a 619, goes for the top for the splash, and nails it for the pin to advance in the Money in the Bank. After the match, Rey stands tall as the music plays. Zelina Vega and Angel Garza backstage with Charlie Caruso. Vega talks up the main event and walks off. Garza flirts some with Caruso and then follows Vega out. Still to come, Charlotte Flair back to commercial, which she has a match. Charlotte Flair versus another NXT superstar, Kayden Carter. Back from the break, out comes NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. NXT Kayden Carter waits in the ring for her non-title match, her Raw debut. Bell rings and Flair immediately levels Carter with a big boot to the face. Flair works Carter over and talks some trash. Booting her around, Flair misses a big boot and gets hung up on the ropes. Carter fights back and super kicks Flair for a quick pin attempt. Carter keeps control and backsides Flair into a 2 count. Carter stays on top of Flair on the mat now. Flair tries to fight out with submission. Flair powers up with Carter's submission still applied. Flair rams Carter's back into the corner and breaks a hold. Carter misses a running kick. Flair comes right back with a big spear. Flair takes her time and applies a figure 4 in the middle of the ring. And Flair smacks Carter and talks trash while the hold is applied. And then bridges into the figure 8 and Carter taps out. After the match, Flair stands tall with the music playing. She taunts Carter and goes to replays. Flair taunts Carter again with some more before raising the title in the air to end the segment. Still to come, McIntyre versus Garza, back to commercial. Back for the break, we get another pre-recorded video from Bobby Lashley. He's trying to flip the 450-pound tire at the Performance Center's gym. He tries a few times and can't get it. Over. He finally flips it, and in comes Lana to praise him. Lashley says that's the kind of power everyone in WWE needs to fear. They walk off together. The announcer's hype. Drew McIntyre's up some more. He will face Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank and Angel Garza tonight. Andrade versus Akira Tozawa is up next. We go to the ring. Out first comes U.S. Champion Andrade with Zelina for the non-title match. Back to commercial. Back from the ring. Out comes Akira Tozawa as Andrade awaits. Vega holds the title at ringside. The bell rings and Akira attacks, but Andrade knocks him away. Tozawa with more quick offense and a big knee to the face for a 2 count. Andrade keeps fighting back, but Tozawa rocks him against the ropes. Tozawa with another counter for Hurricane. Tozawa keeps charging and kicks Andrade in the face, sending him off the apron to the floor. Tozawa runs the apron with a big senton, sending Andrade into the barrier. Vega is worried now. Tozawa brings him back in the ring and hits a big missile drop kick from the top. Andrade kicks out 2. They roll to the floor for a breather. Vega checks on him. Vega provides a distraction at ringside, allowing Andrade to turn back around. Andrade brings him back in the ring and works Tozawa around the ring now. Tozawa counters the move, catches Andrade in an octopus submission in the middle of the ring. Andrade finally gets to the top rope to break the hold. Andrade levels Tozawa with a back elbow and drops him. Andrade scoops Tozawa, but he slides out. More back and forth between the two. Tozawa lands a big right hand to the mouth. Tozawa runs into a drop kick. Andrade shows off some, and it backfires. And Tozawa rolls him up for a 2 count. And then another. Tozawa super kicks Andrade down. Vega looks on shot from ringside. Tozawa goes up top. But Andrade cuts him off. Andrade hits a hammerlock DDT from the top for the pin and the win. And he retains. After the match, music hits as Vega brings the title in to celebrate. We go to replays. Vega and Andrade stand tall on the ramp. Music interrupts, and out comes Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, while Andrade and Zelina and Vega are still on the ramp. They walk past, staring each other down. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins dance at the announce table with Ford on top of the table. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Profits are both dancing on the announce table. They introduce Bianca Belair, and out she comes. And she faces Santana Garrett. Bianca makes her way into the ring while swinging her hair. NXT Santana Garrett waits for her. Street Profits join the announcers for commentary. Bell rings and Belair kicks into the corner, backs off. Belair taunts Garrett. They lock up and Belair slams Garrett face first into the mat. Then taunts her again. Belair scoops Garrett on her shoulders, but Garrett fights off. Then rocks her. They taunt each other, and Belair shoves her down. They trade holes, and Belair slams Garrett a few times. Garrett misses back elbow, and Belair slams her again. Belair with kicks in the corner. Belair with a big hip toss across the ring. Garrett turns around in the corner. Belair blocks an arm drag and drops Garrett with a big shoulder. Belair dodges another move and taunts Garrett again. They run the ropes and Belair drops Garrett with another shoulder. Lawler tells the Profits they're doing it a little over the top and cheering for Belair, and they are. Belair lifts Garrett and finally drops her back with a suplex. Belair keeps the hold until Garrett drops her over the top rope, then kicks her in the head. Garrett goes up top and hits a crossbody for a 1 count. Garrett with more offense until Belair kicks her in mid-move. Belair slams Garrett back into the top turnbuckle and hits the KOD for the pin and the win, while Ford and Dawkins cheer her on. After the match, Belair celebrates on the shoulders of Ford and Dawkins, and we get replays. So the come segment, WWE Champion in the main event. Back to commercial. Drew versus Angel Garza, your main event. Back from the break, Angel is out with Zelina. Austin Theory and U.S. Champion Andrade, all in the corner. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre was out next for tonight's non-title main event. And the bell rings and they go at it. Start. Theory with a distraction early on, allowing Garza to strike. Drew hits a big belly-to-belly early on, sending Garza out. Drew follows and keeps control of as Vega looks on. Drew drops Garza over the barrier and hits him with big chops. They tangle on the floor, and Drew hits a big Glasgow kiss headbutt. Theory comes from behind, but Drew drops him. Garza takes advantage, nailing a drop kick off the steel steps. Garza with more offense at the ringside, sending Drew into the ring post a few times. Garza brings him back in the ring, and does a big drop kick from the top. Garza with a 1 count. Garza unloads with Drew while he's down. Garza focuses on the leg, pounding on Drew while locking the leg lock. Drew takes a kick and nails the clothesline. Drew with an elbow to take Garza back off, then a big boot to the forehead. Vega cheers Garza on as Drew goes up top. Drew with a flying strike from the top. Drew kips up and waits in the corner now. Drew yells at Garza to get up. Garza tries to escape the ring, but Drew stops him, only pulling his tights off to reveal his trunks. Drew then leaps out, landing on all 3 heels at ringside. Brings Garza back in, then sends Andrade over the barrier. Drew with a Claymore kick to Theory on the floor. Drew returns to the ring and rams Garza into the corner. Drew then nails a big Alabama slam, but Garza counters, rolling him up for a 2 count. They go at it, and Drew connects with a Claymore kick for the pin and the win. And Drew wins the match. After the match, Drew stands tall as the music plays. Drew raises the WWE title as the referee raises his arm. We go to replays. He announces Hype Rollins versus McIntyre for the Money in the Bank. We see Garza getting back to his feet in the ring. Drew drops him with another Claymore. Drew talks trash to Vega. Theory comes back in, but Drew drops him with a Claymore. Drew chases Andrade up the ramp and stops him from running away with the WWE title belt as the music hits. Raw goes off the air with Drew smiling with the title on the ramp. That concludes my video for Raw this week. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on the video. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.